Good morning, cadets. We have been discussing the questions on spotting errors. Spotting errors are very important because the number of questions that appear on spotting errors every year. If you become familiar with some of the important rules of grammar, you can do very well in this segment. You have to keep on practicing. You have to become familiar with more and more rules. And in order to remember them, the best method is to practice them and understand the rules underlying these sentences. Once you understand, then definitely you'll be able to do well in spotting errors. So yesterday we have seen a number of examples of spotting errors. At first we'll take up few more and then we'll revise all those rules and let's see whether you remember them. Okay, shall we go to now the next one that we are supposed to do today? So we'll go to question number 64. Okay, so let's go to 64. So there are totally 25 and today let's see furthermore. Okay, I hope you are ready now. So let's see 10 more. So we have seen yesterday 15. So let's see remaining 10 and then we'll revise all. As a dramatist, Shaw is superior than any other 20th century writer nowhere. Now here it's referring to playwright George Bernard Shaw. As a dramatist, that's a part. So here these questions usually they are divided into 4. A, B, C, D. These are labeled ones. And you have to find the error in particular part. Okay, that will be the answer. So as a dramatist, is there anything wrong? No. Shaw is superior than. When we use superior, see degrees of adjectives. Now Shaw is superior than, comparative degree is there. Now any other 20th century writer. So something wrong must be there either in B or C. If there's, because A there's nothing wrong, no error in A. So error is there in either B or C. Any other 20th century writer is correct. So B is the right answer. So there is error in B. What is the error in B? And what does rule tell us? Whenever superior is used, it will be followed by to, not than. So superior will be followed by to. Now there are many other words like superior. They will be followed by to, not by than. You have to remember that rule. It's a very important rule because this question quite often appears in the UPSC examination. So that's why this is a very, very important one. So here, what are those words? Let's remember. The words like senior, junior, senior to, junior to, seer, superior to, prefer to. So at the end, what is there? R is there. Either ER or OR is there. Prior to, inferior to. So in the case of all these words, what is to be used? To is to be used in the comparative degree. So what will be the correct sentence here? As a dramatist, Shaw is superior to any other 20th century writer. This is a very important rule. And remember, whenever words like superior, senior, junior, prefer, prior, inferior, whenever these words appear, they'll be always followed by to, not by than. I hope you understood. Like here, is senior to me in service. We say it like that. Or sometimes even in the case of preferable also we use that. Like health is more preferable to wealth. And this cloth is inferior to that cloth. You got it now? So superior, senior, junior, prefer, preferable, prior. So whenever these words appear, you have to use to. Very important rule. Remember this. Superior to, senior to. Remember that. Okay. Let's go to next one now. Question number 65. See here 64 and 65 very important ones. 65 question tag. Molly speaks French well. Isn't it? No error. Isn't it? Now whenever we are discussing about question tag, we have to think about what? We have to think about the subject and we have to think about what? We have to think about subject. What is subject here? Molly is the subject. Molly is the subject and then verb is speak. Yes, Molly speaks. Now here Molly is what? Now here it is given. It will be used in the case of non-living things or okay. Now Molly is a girl. If Molly is a girl, what should come? It should be she. Is it there? It is not there. Now here Molly speaks. Speaks is a main verb. Now we have to concentrate only this part. We have to concentrate on this part. Molly speaks. Now here speaks is given. Now it's a main verb. We don't have to bother about this French well. What is there after the verb? You need not worry about that. But you have to think about the verb. So here speaks. Now this is in positive degree. This will be negative. It's in negative. But remember speaks is a main verb. So what we should use? We have to use a does. What we have to use? We have to use does. So if it is does, it has to be negative. Then what will come over here? It will be doesn't. Molly is a girl. So doesn't she? So what will be the answer? Doesn't she? So the answer will be doesn't she. I hope you understood this. Yes, answer will be doesn't she. So what is wrong here? Here it is wrong here. So what should be the answer? Doesn't she. So Molly speaks French well, isn't it? No. Here doesn't she. So that will be the error there. So in the case of first one, the error is in superior to. There is a error here. So to should come there. As a dramatist, Shaw is superior to any other 20th century writer. Here Molly speaks French well, doesn't she? So doesn't she will be the answer here. Now here, let's go to next one. Mutton is more hard to digest than vegetables. Now what is wrong here? Remember here more hard, again comparative. Here also comparative degree. But more hard to digest than vegetables. Is there anything wrong there? Now what is the error here? Remember here more hard. When we use more, we are familiar with this that we will use more in the case of what? More beautiful. Okay, more beautiful, more preferable. Whenever the adjectives are longer ones. But hard is a very short one. So in that case, we don't have to use more. Then what will come? Harder. So mutton is harder to digest than vegetables. So what should come? Harder should come. So mutton is harder to digest than vegetables. You got it now? So whenever the adjective is short, like short, shorter, hard, harder. But if it's a beautiful, if it's a bigger adjective, yes, you got it. Bigger adjective where more syllables are there. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so preferable. In the case of that, we have to use more. Not in the case of hard or short. Short, shorter. Big, bigger. Hard, harder. So mutton is harder to digest than vegetables. You got it now? Okay, let's move on to the next one now. I hope you have started understanding now. Let's go to the next one. I have found that he is neither willing or capable. So here remember, you have to remember that neither nor either or, it will be always like that, neither nor either or. If neither comes, what should come next? It will be nor, not or. So if neither is there, so what should come? Or nor should come. So I have found that is neither willing nor capable, so it should be nor. Okay, neither nor, either or. So these are all very, very important that you should be able to remember. Neither nor, either or. So let's go to the next one now. Shall we move on to the next one? What is the next one now? For times immemorial, she shells have been used by man in many ways, no error. Now for times immemorial, something is wrong here. So what is wrong there? For times immemorial. So what is right here? It should be for times immemorial. Seashells have been used by man in many ways. No error. So in many ways it's correct. Seashells have been used by man. That is also correct. So here it should be from time immemorial. What should be? For time, from time immemorial. From time. So it is not times, from time immemorial. That is the idiom or that is the phrase. That phrase you should be able to remember. From time immemorial. You got it now. Let's move on to the next one. He will not listen what you say. He will not listen what you say. He will not listen to. Listen to should come. So B is the error here. He will not listen to what you say. You got it now? What should come there? Listen to. Okay. Let's move on to the next one now. Okay. Let's go to the next remaining four. I have done my best. The whole thing is now in the hands of the gods. In the hands of the gods. So what should come? In the hand of God. Now it is all in the hand of the God. So what should be this one? In the hands of God. So with God will not use the is not to be used. So the will not come. So what will come? In the hands of God. In the hands of God. Yes will also not come. So yes will not come. So in the hands of God. So that is what should be there. I have done my best. The whole thing is now in the hands of God. So I have left it to the God. I have done my best. Okay. The whole thing is now in the hands of God. Okay, let's go to next. Oh, for God's sake, leave me alone and go away from here. No error. So for God's sake, apostrophe S in the case of God. For God's sake. So here it has to be apostrophe S. For God's sake, leave me alone and go away from here. You got it now? Oh, for God's sake, leave me alone and go away from here. No error. Now let's go to the 72nd one. This is a strange word, correct? Where each one pursues their. See here, this is what we must have seen. Quite often it is coming. Each one pursues their. So each one is there. So what should come? Each one pursues his or her. So his or her, each. So whenever each comes, what should come? Singular form should come. So each one pursues his own golden bubble and laughs at others for doing the same. No error. So error is in B. You got it now? See here, this question is appearing again on each one. Now again each. Each of the boys. Now each, again we have said singular. So each of the boys, let it be plural. But we have to think about each. So we are referring to each boy. So here the error is in where. So it is referring to only one, isn't it? So was to blame. So what should come? Was to blame. Each of the boys was to blame for the accident. You got it now? Each of the boys was to blame for the accident. So what we'll do now? All 25. Let's revise and let's see whether you remember. Okay, try to give the answer for that. Let's start from the first one. So here 25 are there. Okay, we'll try to finish as early as possible. Everybody, where is the error here? Everybody has their, see a similar kind of example. Everybody has their, wrong. What is wrong there? Has his. So here this is wrong, there is wrong. Okay, so there is wrong, so it should be his ups and downs. Everybody has his or her ups and downs. Let's go to next. When the thief broke into the house, they raised a hue and cry. The thief was caught. What should be there? Was should be there here. So was caught. Now I have tried to meet him several times. He isn't never. So what here? So he is never. Negative will not come there. Okay, this house is mine. No error. No error. Yes, absolutely correct. Next one. He is proficient in Hindi and can speak English, but he does not know how to read. So what should be the answer here? How to read. Correct. Okay, let's go to every woman. See here, everybody. So many examples of that. So very important. Again and again it will be repeated. You should. So every woman. What should come here? There is there. In place of there, what will come? Here, remember here. See the similar kind of examples. So what will come? Her child. Okay. Neither of them. Only one is there. So again, see here. Error isn't there, only there in place of there. What will come in place of there? Neither of them send his or her paper. So okay, paper only it will come. Okay, his or her paper. This now again many traffic, many, because traffic is uncountable. So that's why many. So what should come? Much should come. Okay, let's go to the front. The front page story was about a school girl. That is wrong. So what should be there? Who had hurt herself? Who had hurt herself? In the case of human beings, we have to use who. Sometimes only we'll use that, but the most appropriate is use who. Okay, he took leave of. So leave for. So preposition you have to look for in case of these kind of examples are there. Look for the preposition. Okay. The police arrived and discovered a large number of hoarded sugar. Sugar is uncountable. So what will happen? It is not number. You can't count that. So it has to be quantity. A large quantity of hoarded sugar. Okay, let's go to Raju doesn't come to our house because our dog barks at him and licks him. Although I have often told him not to be afraid. Not to be afraid. Not to be afraid. Let's go. Now running across the playground, my painful. No, here it has to be subject, because something in the secondary clause we require a subject. So secondary clause is becoming subject for the kind of clause that is there at the beginning, running across the playground. So ing form, it begins with that. So that's why you have to have I dropped my pen. It should be I dropped my pen. Okay, got it? I dropped my pen. Okay, the last thing, that the fond mother is there. So how can it be his blessing? So when mother is there, whose blessing? Her blessing. You got it now? Let's move on to the next one now, boys. Two is innovative ideas. So what is wrong there? So two, no. For is innovative ideas. He has got the award. For. Okay? Right. We'll go to the 64th. What we have seen? Superior to. Superior to, inferior to. Yes, you remember that rule. Very good. Senior to, junior to. So Molly speaks. Doesn't she? What should come? Doesn't she? So when it is positive, it has to be negative. The question tag will be negative if it's positive. If it's a negative, the question tag will be positive. Mutton is harder. Got it now? Mutton is harder. Then here, neither willing nor capable. Neither willing nor capable. From time immemorial. From time immemorial. And here, 70th. In the hands of God. In the hands of God. And here it has to be apostrophe. Yes. For God's sake. We always say for God's sake. Not for God's sake. We say for God's sake. And 72nd one. What is there? Here. where each one pursues his or her. So here each one pursues his own global golden bubble. Okay, again each of the boys was to blame. So sometimes you have to look at the verb, sometimes you have to look at the pronoun. You have to keep all these things in mind. Remember, then you will definitely do well. Practice more and more spotting errors. I'm quite sure you are going to fetch good marks in this particular segment. Thank you. Goodbye.